Hey. um, so, new development this week. What are you looking at?
I'm looking at the blinds. Good. They're still up. They're good.
They're still
okay?
up.
I have to check. Listen, Joe. I need. Let me tell you something.
They're always after me. They're everywhere.
I don't know exactly.
They're always after me.
If I am correct about what you were going to say just then, this is something you need to know. You got to be aware of your surroundings at all times, buddy. You have to keep constant vigilance. Boom, boom, boom.
They're
boom,
always
boom,
after
boom,
you.
Boom. They're always after you.
They're always after you. That reminds me of that John Mulaney bit where he talks about why Jewish people are always anxious and like paranoid because they've had years and years. Who are you? What's that? Don't touch that.
That's right. You better recognize.
No, I was gonna say new development this week. Guess what I got right here? Guess. I bet you're gonna guess wrong, but you might guess right, because you know me.
I'm gonna guess that is. Let me think. I'm gonna guess that is organic goat piss.
No, but you're gonna kombucha in a glass. That's the difference. We're not in bottles anymore, baby. Straight out of the glass. You know what they say?
Yeah, bottles are.
So 2020. No, I will say, this is going to be the most pretentious thing I say on this podcast. Actually, probably not. But, I always prefer, like, stuff out of a glass bottle if I can have it. Like, always. Like, glass bottles are the way to go. So, like, kombucha, almost always in a glass bottle. One of the best parts about kombucha is drinking it out of the glass bottle. It's so good. Beer, glass bottle. It's amazing. Actually, but with some beers, you do want to drink it out of the glass because you got to get those smells in. Anyhow. But, Coca-Cola, Fanta, glass bottle. Always prefer glass bottle over can and fucking glass. Glass fucking bottle all the way. But, that being said, the glass bottle kombucha is more expensive than the big giant fucking kombucha that you can just get in a liter, and this is cheaper. Also, fun fact: the liter of kombucha, giant glass bottle, so I could just drink out of that if I wanted to die, but
Why would that kill you?
I just feel like it'd be very unpleasant. It's a heavy fucking bottle. It's glass. It's a glass liter. Anyways, that's so to new and better places.
I don't even know what to say to all of that.
I got a new haircut too.
Yeah,
you didn't
I know.
say anything about it. I'm kind of.
I was distracted by the glasses. I didn't want to get on you for both. I had to pick one.
Wait! You don't like the haircut? I think I look trendy. No, I like it.
You look very trendy. You look very trendy, Joe.
No, but I haven't done the full undercut in a while since like college, so I like that I missed it, so I was like, fuck it, let's do it.
It works for you. You got a lot of hair up there, man. You got thick hair.
It's, yep. I think you might know where I go actually. Is it called Strangio? It's right next to Ventures. Yeah. I go there. Matt's friend. I saw Ryan.
There are.
Yeah,
oh, okay.
Matt's friends go there.
I've seen them. There. Those guys are our neighbors.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're great. They're super great. But yeah, so I go there. Best haircuts in Niagara if you want to get a haircut.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, I don't know. I don't know where the story's going, but that's where I got the haircut, and he did a great job. But he was telling me I have, like, a lot of hair, and I was like, yeah, it's, every time I have to get it, like, thinned out. I have to get it like thinned out.
You got to take hair thinners.
They get like these shears and they like, but you know, one of these days I tell them every time. I make the joke every time. I'm like, one of these days, I'm gonna miss, because I'm sure I'm not gonna have this thick hair forever. So.
Does your grandpa have hair? Still.
He has hair. He has hair. You're right. He does have hair. But he has a lot of hair, but it's like, you know, everywhere and like thin. But he's not.
But
like,
he's still
bald.
got it.
He does still got it.
He's pretty old.
He's very
I don't remember
old.
how old he is, but
he's
yeah.
very old. He's 80.
Yeah.
Oh, is he 87 now?
Yeah, that's wild. I think he'll be all right.
He's getting there. Anyhow, welcome
Kombucha.
to Kombucha. The only thing that would make it better, dude, the only thing that would make all of this better is if I had that Sobe from the airport. That's the only thing that would make it better.
It doesn't exist.
It does, man. Dude. One of these days, we're going to go on a trip in our favorite rocket ship. But we're going to go on a trip. And when I go to the airport with you, I'm going to fucking find it. I swear to God, I'm going to find it. Next time I'm in an airport, I'm finding it. And I'm going to send you a picture of it. And I'm going to buy it. I'm going to buy 2 of them. Not even going to drink one. I'm going to save it until I see you again. And then...
that's a problem, Joe. I don't fly commercial.
You only fly private.
Mm-hmm. I only use the Wright brothers plane. That type of style. It's just better for the environment.
The paper plane.
Yeah. So, and I'm very surprised you didn't know that.
That's why you always wear hats, because your hair is always everywhere from the...
Exactly. I have my flying goggles.
Your flying goggles. That's why you know so much about Amelia Earhart. That was a weird joke. I don't know.
That was not even a joke. That made...
What? You know, like when I say, like, you like when I make jokes that have no punchline? They're just like a weird thing to say.
I do know a lot about Amelia Earhart.
Like
I know
what?
where she's buried.
Oh, where?
They tell you once you
ride
get to a certain status level, they kind of give you all those secrets.
Do you know what's on page 47?
I can't talk about that here. I just can't do it. Those bastards. Wow.
You and Matt are pulling the wool over everyone's eyes. You always talk about, page 47, page 47. You guys already know what's fucking on page 47.
Joe. I have to stop you right there. You are messing with things that are beyond your comprehension. You cannot.
The next time I'm on Cool in the Tooler, the next time I'm on Two in the Cooler, I'm blowing the case wide open. I'm saying what the people need to hear. You want to silence me, but it's not happening.
No, I'm worried for your safety, Joe. This is not a game.
Disney of Walt will find you.
Why do you think I've got this on?
Why?
It's a signal to tell them that I know that they know.
They're always watching. Look, he's just ominously like looking. That's like kind of a scary hat when you think about it. It's like a Where's Waldo? You know, I said Waldo instead of Oswald, but no, I meant Waldo. He's like staring right at him. Oh man.
We got to start the show.
Yeah, welcome to Film Juice.
We gotta start the show.
We're doing it live.
Places, people.
Welcome to Film Juice, the show where we talk about cases and blowing them wide open, as well as movies and TV and news and review things. You know, sometimes we'll talk about juice, but recently it's just been kombucha. I'm your host, Joe Dorado.
Yes. Yes, you are.
If we ever get sponsored by anyone, it better be kombucha.
That's like, oh my god, that's like saying we need to be sponsored by oatmeal. Like, it's just a thing. Like
You can get
kombucha.
sponsored by a brand. If I ever blew the
But
load on which brand I drink
it's like
all
saying
brands.
we need to be sponsored by pancakes. Like, there has to be.
There's
like,
Nestle, right?
Joe,
There's a Nestle.
I know, but you didn't say buy like a kombucha company.
Well, because I don't want to tie us down. I don't want to tie us down. See, all the kombucha places are gonna, all the kombucha places are gonna reach out to us, and now we're gonna have to decide which one we want to go with. You know.
Mm-hmm.
So that'd be really funny though, because the bit would be that I would recommend kombucha to everyone, and you would just bash it. So like, it'd be great.
I'm not saying it's bad.
It'd be a good.
I don't think that I've ever had it, and I'll probably keep it that way.
That's fair. Anyhow, so we got a lot of things to talk. Well, we got some fun thing. We got a fun show this week. Fun show every week, but fun show this week. Yeah, we don't have a whole lot of movie news, but let's just get into it, I guess. There was something else I wanted to say, but can I remember? No. Oh, you know what I did want to say before we get into like crazy movie news. This isn't really news. This is just like something that I want to talk about and recommend to people because I think it's a great show. And I just watched it the other day. So I haven't like, I mean, you know this. I've been behind on like a few shows. I've been behind on WandaVision. I've been behind on Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Those are the only two, but those are two big shows. I've been behind on those. Haven't seen them. So you'd think that when I'm in bed because of the vaccine, because the second dose like puts you on your ass a little bit. Mm-hmm. When I'm in bed all day because of it, you'd think the show I'd watch is one of those. I've just binged through it. Well, you're wrong. There's a new show that came out that I've been really excited about, and we talked about it on the show once before, called Shadow and Bone. And we talked about it on the show because the trailer came out, and the production value just seemed insane. Like it looks incredible. Yeah, that show came out the day that I was sick, so it's 8 episodes, and it was, all I'll say is I enjoyed it enough that I binged through the whole show, and wow. I definitely eventually I think it'd be a great one to talk about on the show in the future, so I won't say anything too crazy about it now, because I think it'd be a great one to talk about, but I do want to say, highly recommend it, because I want more people to watch it, because, whether you like it or not, I think it's there's a lot to talk about there. It's a really interesting show, and it's really well done in a lot of ways. So check it out.
Joe's picks. Pew, pew, pew.
Yeah. Pew, 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 pew.
Have you watched Invincible?
No, I just saw that there was a thing that came out about it.
Yeah, it just got renewed.
Did you watch it?
About an hour ago. The final episode of this first season is out today, so I've not watched it yet.
But have you watched, like, so you're caught up with it?
But I'm all caught up. You gotta watch it, man.
Really? Is that Stephen Yeun?
Yeah, he's in there. J.K. Simmons in there.
Really?
A lot of
J.K. Simmons, damn. What, is it on Amazon Prime? It looks like an Amazon Prime show. Yep. Yeah. I should watch it.
You have to watch it, Joe. That's what you should start watching. I don't know. I'd watch it even. I mean, I guess I wouldn't wait to like catch up on all both those Marvel shows to start Invincible. I would probably watch Invincible first and then do those Marvel shows.
I hate to say it, but I need a jump start. I think I've told you this before, but I need to be like jump started back into Marvel. Like I'm just so like I I don't have any motivation to watch like anything Marvel like that's coming out other than the only thing that I've been hyped about watching is Loki and the 10 Rings and the Eternals. I want to watch like Black Widow, WandaVision, Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Like I've heard WandaVision and Falcon and the Winter Soldier are worth watching. I can't get myself to like have the motivation to watch it.
I've heard a lot of people have said that exact same thing to me, and I think that it's because there seems to be very low to zero stakes in these things, at least the perception, because
that's interesting.
With Endgame, everything led up to that. There were so many things that built to that moment, and then it was incredible. We were on top of the mountain. We saw it all go down.
Yeah.
Now we have a new mountain to climb.
I know.
And that is a pretty hefty task to undergo when Iron Man is dead and Captain America is gone.
Spoilers.
And they'll be fine. And
it's been like over 2 years.
So we're so used to, even leading up to Endgame, every piece of material that Marvel put out was like, there's going to be something in here that is going to tell us something like we need to know. But now that we're right at the beginning of the journey, it's people are still a little hungover from that first round, I think.
Yeah.
And the only way to get them back excited is give them something huge. Yeah. I think that's what Loki's going to be.
I agree. Because I'm watching that show, like, right when it comes out. Like, I'm so excited.
That show's going to be sick.
All right, that show. I keep saying movie, but it looks like a fucking movie. That's why it's so, like, insane. That's, like, what I love about, like... That's what always puts me over the edge with a show. That's, like, what always, like... When a show has the same production quality as a movie does, that's, like, always, like, something that'll make me, like, over the top for it. Like... The Witcher had that. Shadow and Bone had that. Altered Carbon had that by season 2. Like, even season 1 had that, I'd say, some of it. So, like, there's, like, that's, like, what and Mandalorian. Mandalorian obviously has that.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, these shows, like, they're paving the way. They're kind of... It's, like, the transition to, like, the next step for these shows, so... It's really great to see. And it's great because you get more of that quality. You're not getting 2 hours of it. You're getting fucking 8 hours of it. So it's like, it's really cool. Anyhow. Yeah, Invincible. That I just saw that got renewed too. Yeah,
for
I'll
2
check
seasons.
It out. That is pretty cool. 2 seasons. Like, getting renewed for 2 seasons. You know what's interesting? We're going to talk about... Obviously, we're going to talk about Mortal Kombat later, but just a little bit of news with it that has nothing to do with, like, reviewing it. If the movie gets... If this movie, like, does well enough and it gets picked up for more movies, the actor who plays Sub-Zero said he's already signed on to do 4 movies. If this movie does well, he's already signed on to do 4 more. So, like...
That's the way those contracts always go,
That's fucking crazy, though. Like, if this movie does well, boom, 4 more movies. That's nuts. Who knows
Yeah. Well, we'll talk about it. But, yeah. That's pretty typical for contracts, especially these days when there is such an emphasis on franchising.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's
crazy.
That's just what they do.
Yeah.
Like, it's like every single book that gets published...
Mm-hmm.
In the contract, there's something about the movie rights, and
really?
Most don't get movies made out of them. Yeah, you just have to. It's just what you do.
That's so interesting. That's cool. Contracts.
It's really not like it makes sense.
No, I know. I'm just saying, like, it makes sense. I'm just saying, like, it's interesting because I've never, like, really.
It's all about contracts are all about covering your ass, Joe.
Yeah. That's like when contracts are so interesting. It's just like. What makes it a legally binding contract? What makes a contract legally binding? Okay, anyway, no one is gonna get that except you and people who've seen that special.
No, they'll get it. Well, actually, I don't. Well,
that's a pretty
no, I mean,
niche reference.
I don't think it is. Never mind.
Yeah, I know. You also brought up this Green Lantern news.
Oh yeah, so the Green Lantern series that's going to be on HBO Max. They cast somebody as Guy Gardner, who I feel like might be a lesser known Green Lantern.
He definitely is. I don't really know him that much.
So there's
I know the two main ones.
Right, Hal Jordan, Jon Stewart.
Yes, those are the two I know.
So Guy Gardner was the third one that came into play from Earth, and he's a real character. He's a real hot-tempered guy.
Ooh.
They cast. Now I got to pull it up. So I wasn't sure what the deal was going to be if we were going to mention him, but this guy.
Finn Wittrock.
Finn Wittrock. Let's see here.
HBO Max.
Finn.
I can't recall what he's been in, but he is in other things.
He's been in all kinds of stuff. Yeah. Well, okay, so yeah, he had a small part in The Big Short.
Yeah, I remember him in The Big Short. That's right, he was in The Big Short.
He was in La La Land.
He was in La La Land. Who was he in La La Land?
Halloween Town High, that's what I know him from. Halloween Town High.
Yeah!
Okay. So that's why I thought this guy couldn't act. But seeing some of his other stuff, but he has very small parts, and I don't think he really got a chance to really show his stuff in any of the things that we just mentioned.
Big Short, I remember him decently in Big Short.
Most of his, he had a lot of screen time, but most of his stuff was honestly just reacting to things that
I agree. That's true.
So
that cast was also insane. So like it's hard to like.
But so maybe this guy's got the chops. Maybe this guy's got the chops to do it. Because Guy Gardner,
he doesn't look like Guy Gardner from the picture
I saw.
So it's interesting.
He doesn't look like Guy Gardner. He looks a little
lanky.
He looks a little too sensitive.
Yep.
To be Guy Gardner. But we'll see. I mean.
Yeah.
Warner Brothers always making the right fucking decision. So.
Get him. Get after him. Get him.
But yeah, I think we're just gonna see what happens. I want that show to be good, and hopefully that guy's got the chops to play a character like that.
Yeah, I agree. It's gonna be interesting. It's really just gonna be interesting to see what happens with this new, I don't know, just with the new DC stuff. I mean, the next thing that's coming out is technically the first like new DC thing that's coming out is the Suicide Squad movie. So that's coming out next month, or no, it's the month after because hold on, what's coming out? What's the May HBO release? That's what I gotta remember. Because the June HBO release is none other than In the Heights, and I won't forget that. But what's the May? Well, I can just look up Suicide Squad. Maybe it's July, actually. It might be July. When is it coming out? It's August. Okay. Suicide Squad's August. So I don't know what's May. There is something in May, obviously. I just can't. It might be one of the lesser known ones. Because you know how they've, like, put out, like, those other two? And one of them was really good, but one of them I heard was, like, not good. Because one of them got nominated for a bunch of shit. The one with, the guy from Get Out.
Judas and the Black Messiah?
Yeah. Apparently that was really good. And that was a HBO Max, release. But then the month before, there was this other one that came out, and I guess it was not very good. It was kind of bland. I can't remember the name of it, but anyway. Anyway. Other movie news. We got a new trailer for West Side Story. Steven Spielberg, which is, I mean, that's kind of a cool transition to one of the later movies, but I had no idea that he was doing a musical, let alone West Side Story, like remaking West Side Story. The trailer looks cool. It's starring Ansel Elgort. Ansel Elgort plays Tony. So he's the lead, and then Rachel Zegler plays Maria. And yeah.
Who does Vanessa Hudgens play?
I don't think Vanessa Hudgens is in this. I remember
What?
you said that, but
I could have sworn I saw her.
yeah, no,
She's
not.
in something. I swear to God.
She's not in this. I don't see
No
her
way.
in the cast at all. Yeah, I don't see
Well, I'll
her.
be damned.
Maddie Ziegler's in this too as Velma. And Ariana DeBose, I might have messed that up, is Anita. Rita Moreno is Valentina. It's a pretty... I mean, I know a few of these names. Obviously, Ansel Elgort's the big one. It's going to be interesting. He fits the part look-wise. I am skeptical. I know he's done music in the past. So I know, like, he does have musical talent. But from what I've heard from his music, I'm a little skeptical of his voice talents for Tony in West Side Story, because that's a pretty boisterous role musically. I hope it's not gonna be like a Beauty and the Beast scenario where it's very obviously auto-tuned the whole time, because that would be upsetting. But I don't know. We'll see. We got the trailer doesn't show a whole lot, and it doesn't really give you a lot of the music either. That's
what I like.
Yeah,
that's what I like about it. That's because listen. We know a lot of we all know the big songs from West Side Story. Don't show me any of that. Just make me want to watch it, and that's what that trailer did.
Yeah,
that made me want to watch that movie. And you know how I feel about most musicals. Although I do like the original West Side Story. That was not bad.
You liked the trailer you thought the trailer for In the Heights was cool though too.
That's true. That's true.
And you also.
But again, it showed me too much though. It didn't show a lot.
Think so.
No, I understand.
Oh, okay.
I'm talking. That's just me personally.
I see what you're saying.
It showed me too much. I honestly, as trailers go, I agree. I don't think at all. I would have liked to have seen less.
Okay.
That's what it's just that's what would have made me more interested in it, is if they didn't show anybody singing or dancing, which I know it's a musical that sounds counterintuitive, but again, that's how
La La Land did a similar thing with their trailer. I remember they didn't really have like a whole lot of, like, they showed a little bit, but not a whole lot.
Yeah, quite a bit of dancing though. Which is the same with the West Side Story trailer.
Yeah.
Quite a bit of dancing.
Yeah. So yeah, I gotta tell you, some of these shots in the trailer were pretty fucking cool. Yeah. The one that stands out to me right away, is the one that it was just the shadow. It was the overhead shot. It was the shadow silhouette shot, and it was like the shadows were revealing the text. That was a really good shot. Yep. And I hope.
Here's the thing that you got to understand, Joe, is that when you're a jet all the way.
You're a jet all the way, baby.
And I just want to make sure that you get that.
I feel like I'm like straight out of West Side. No, I'm not. I'm kidding. I feel like
you're straight out of.
I could fit in.
The backstage of West Side Story, maybe. The
tech.
What do they call? No. Your friend is in it, and you're there in the back to support them.
Dick.
The wings. You're in the wings.
Wow, I'm not even talented enough to be on that stage.
I didn't say that. You didn't audition.
I just showed up and they let me in.
No, you're not in it.
No, I'm not in it. They let me in backstage though, because I like.
No, because you're there. Your friend because your friend is in the show.
Yeah, semantics.
Fair enough.
um, but so what was I? But yeah, it looks cool. Visually it looks cool. I'm just nervous about Ansel Elgort. I don't know. I'm just
I
nervous
got you.
about Ansel
And you
Elgort.
know what? I think that your nervousness is going to be confirmed. I just, it's not hearing you say that. I'm like, I think that that's probably what's going to happen. And
I hope I'm wrong, but
yeah,
he looks like the role, but I'm just skeptical of his acting ability and his, I don't know. I'm just
Really?
skeptical. I'm just because I haven't seen him in this type of role before, which is
show a lot
fine.
of range. I got
He
you.
could definitely blow my expectations out of the water, and I fucking hope he does. But I'm a little skeptical. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting. I really liked this trailer though. I really did. It didn't show a whole lot, like you said, which is good because the reason why I like that this trailer didn't show a whole lot and why I'm like more okay with like other musicals that like are like not like it's their first time being on the screen showing more is because like we've seen West Side Story.
Exactly.
Like so exactly what you're saying, like we've seen it before, so we don't really need to see like it's more interesting when you just show like the alluding to certain things. Yeah, Steven Spielberg doing a musical too, like that's super interesting. From the shots that we see, it looks like it's gonna be like dynamically shown, and it also looks like they are gonna take advantage of kind of this idea of bringing elements from like the live theater to like the screen. Like I just like from that little fight snippet that they showed, you could tell that it just seemed like, in my opinion, it just seemed like the way it was shot was that like like you were watching it from like a staged live perspective. I'm not saying they're on a stage. I'm saying, like, you know what I mean? Like, does that make?
I know. Yes. No. I know exactly what you're talking about.
So. I think that's awesome, and I think that's gonna work really well.
That's always the thing when you transition a stage show like this is how much of that do you actually bring to the screen?
Yeah.
And I think that it's going to be a lot. It's going to be a lot more subtle, those elements that he's going to bring, because there's some things where it's very obvious. Like the first West Side Story felt a lot like a stage show. So I think that this is going to be a lot more toned down in that sense.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's going to be I think it's definitely going to be edgier too, just from the it's definitely going to be edgier from like the vibes I'm getting. I'm getting very edgy vibes. Which isn't a bad thing. I just think it's going to be a modernized, not modernized, just a more not modernized because I think it's taking place in that time period. It's just gonna be, you know. But yeah, I think it's gonna look cool. It comes out. I should look it up. When does it come out? It comes out this summer. I know that. I'm pretty sure. Or maybe it comes out in the fall. It comes out December. Wow. Damn, that's far away. So quite a bit of ways, but I'm okay with that. Because all I want to focus on this summer is In the Heights, and then fall I can focus on West Side Story. And I'm okay with that. That's a good spacing out of musical movies. You don't want them too close, because then all you're going to do is compare them, right? You don't want to do that.
I think you probably going to anyways.
Yeah, a little, but it won't be as crazy, I feel.
I understand, yeah.
I'll be able to appreciate them as their own thing, I think, without... Yeah, which I want to do. Anyhow, I feel like I'm missing something with movie news. There is one more thing I thought we wanted to talk about. I know. Oh, well, I guess we can get this out of the way.
Craig jumped out, just so you know.
What did?
Craig.
Oh, Craig. Hold on. Thanks for letting me know. It was delayed on my end. God damn it, Craig. Come on, bro. Why are you doing this to me? It's just one of those days that you're doing this.
Now recording.
Yep. Fucking bitch. Wait, why is it... No. No. What's happening? Okay, fixed. Great. Okay, we're back. Okay. So, yeah, the only other thing I think we have to talk about is, just really quick, the Oscars, came and went. I didn't watch them this year, just like I didn't really watch them last year, and, I feel good about that after the stuff I heard about it this year. So, yeah, you know, we talked about it a little bit in our own off time. I think we both feel the same way about it. It's just, you know, I don't know. There's not...
Over. It's over.
Yeah. It's just disappointing.
Done.
Disappointing,
it's about time.
And it's just...
I'm glad.
Yeah. It's just, yeah. It's just, it's sad. It's sad. It's disappointing and sad, so we'll see what happens. I mean...
I understand what you mean. You know, it used to be Hollywood's biggest night.
It used
and I
to
guess
be...
It still is. But like you and I talked about, that was really the only insight.
Yeah.
Back in the day, that was really the only glimpse we had into the lives of the stars.
Yeah, and I had I still have amazing memories.
Sure.
Like from when I was a kid, like watching it, like that was like one of the as a kid that was
Billy
one of the
Crystal.
Oh, have you seen
Song and Dance Man?
Have you seen the Tim and Eric sketch on the Oscar, the Billy Crystal Oscar one? Oh, it's so funny. They sing the song about the Oscars, and it's like they're making fun of like the whole Billy Crystal, like it's so good. I'll send it to you after this. I think you'll love it. It's called Who's Got the Oscar Fever? Who's got the Oscar fever? Bet you got it too. It's so good. It's so good. It's amazing. So anyway, but I don't know. So like, you know, watching it as a kid, like I still have great memories of it. And I think if I didn't watch it as a kid, like it sounds cheesy as fuck, but that's fine. Like it's one of the things I'd say that made me interested in the film industry and made me interested in, and like, you know, having dreams, and like now, like, you know, it's not as much of an influence, but like back then I was like, oh, how cool would it be to be like on that stage? And still now I have that same sentiment. It's just less like in the forefront. Like, you know, when you're a kid, you kind of put those in the forefront. Yeah, so it makes me sad for like, I guess, the generation growing up now. That's what it makes me sad.
But here's the thing, Joe. They're not gonna miss it.
You're right. They're not.
They don't. That doesn't mean anything. They don't feel bad for them because they don't. That means. It's like saying like I feel bad for kids today that don't play with yo-yos.
Gotta love a good yo-yo.
Yeah, maybe that was a bad example. but you know what I mean.
No, I got you. That's a good point though. I understand what you're saying. What's gonna happen? Because you know what, you're right. Because this is what we were talking about, and this is actually probably better. The whole thing with the Oscars back then, and this is the last, and I know we've talked about it a lot, so this is the last thing I'll say about it. The whole thing about the Oscars then was that not only were we, like you said, getting that glimpse, but we were seeing. It was kind of like. It was a way for us to, like, it was a way, I think, for people to see or hear about movies, or want to, or give them more of an interest in seeing certain movies that they wouldn't have seen. It was a great way for that. But now, like we've talked about, that really you don't really need the Oscars opinions for, not saying you needed them back then, but now it's even less so. You don't even need the Oscars opinions for anything, because you can just watch what, like, it's just so it's so much easier just to watch whatever you want to watch, and
because there's so much stuff and it's all so specific.
Yeah, so if you want to watch something, watch it. If you like it, you can like it. You like it, like, it's not like, oh, I want them to win because I really like. And sometimes, like, so like,
and it's so easy to watch things now.
Yeah,
you can just from your couch. You don't have to, like, even something as simple, as easy as, like, having to get a babysitter to go to the movies, like, once a month.
Yeah, and just the Oscars being out of touch over and over and over again. It's caught up to them, I think, and now it doesn't matter. It's like, who?
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it just never changed.
No.
You know?
So, and we talked about this in our own time too, but we're gonna see, like, I mean, we're kind of starting to see it with the Grammys already the past couple of years, but the Grammys are also, like, coming up on that kind of similar
award shows are just done. People don't want to watch them anymore.
I think the only one that's gonna last is the Tonys, and that's because it has such a tight-knit community that everyone in that community, like, really.
And even that's certainly the lowest rated of all of them.
Oh,
in general. So
yeah,
I guess
because it's so niche, like, it's.
But to a certain extent, that is now what is benefiting them.
Oh yeah, because it's so niche that the people who care about it still care about it. Like, it's nothing, like, I don't know. Does that mean, I don't know if that was the best way to describe it. It's like, it's not.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, but anyway, so, but you're right. And yeah, so I guess it is cool now. People can watch what they want to watch and form their own opinions on it, and yeah, it'll be cool. So yeah, interesting though. We'll see what happens. I think it's not like these award shows are gonna go away. I just think they're just gonna be, they're gonna have to adapt to something else, because they're still gonna happen for the actors and the directors, and, like, just whether, like, people watch is a whole other thing. Like, it might even be, I wonder if actors and stuff would prefer.
I don't know.
I don't think they're gonna stop giving away Oscars to, like, movies and shit. I don't see that happening.
But if you're not making any money from the broadcast, then it'll stop being televised.
Yeah, so it'll just be for them.
Right, and then, but
which is, it's kind of, honestly, if I was in the industry, like, if I was that much into the industry, where I was getting invited to that stuff, I would kind of be down for that, because then there's, like, doesn't that make it so, like, there's less political pressure to, like, fucking make those decisions like that? Isn't that kind of cool? That there may be less pressure,
right?
Like,
sure.
For that. I'm not saying.
But all of that pressure is internal. They're all building it up themselves because I think that they still see it as them kind of doing a favor for the audience. Like, take a look at what we're doing and all this stuff, and here's what you need to know. Again, with how you said people don't need the Oscars to make certain decisions for them. I think they still kind of see it that way. They're just out of touch, so we can sum it up all there. They're just out of touch.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. But yeah, anyway, that's all there is to talk about with that. The last thing I wanted to ask you, and this is kind of off the cuff, but I kind of want it to be off the cuff. We did not make a best of list this year, and I'm not asking you to make a list right now. I just want to know, off the top of your head, favorite movie that you watched this past year.
Tom and Jerry. I did not watch that.
I think the reason why we didn't even do a best of list this year is because, like, the way movies were this year, it just didn't. It felt kind of weird. Like, which is completely fine. But I'm just curious, like, if you can think of like the best movie, your favorite movie, not even the best movie, just your favorite movie that you saw.
Right.
Like, no pressure. Like, it doesn't have
I
to.
don't know. There's one that I saw that was really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
What was it called?
I know.
I
It's
think
like
it was called. Hold on, I'm gonna look it up. I think it was an Amazon Prime original movie.
Ooh.
Well, let's see.
We like those.
Son of a bitch. What's it called?
Son
Oh, I
of a
remember what it is. Hold on,
Mhm.
let me just look it up.
Mm-hmm.
So it was, it came out in 2019. Never mind. I just watched it this year. When did it come out in 2019, though? Oh, no, it was released. Oh, okay, it was released. It was released this summer. It was released, in August of 2020. So it was called Get Duked.
Get
It was an
Duked.
Amazon Prime original. And I'm not saying, like, I don't. This is, again, just off the top of my head. This was just a really kind of interesting movie.
Mm-hmm.
It was about these guys. It was about these troubled British youths who get sent to this program where they're supposed to, better themselves by interacting with nature. So they get like a map and a compass, and somebody drops them off and is like, okay, you got 2 days to get to the rendezvous point or whatever. And it turns out that it's actually all a ploy for the Duke of Edinburgh to hunt these kids, and this whole this whole upper echelon of society to hunt these children.
That's so
and so
weird.
they gotta
crazy.
like they kind of fight back, and they gotta figure out, but they also have to. It's a the ending is kind of weird, but it was I liked it a lot. I thought it was pretty cool.
That's crazy. That sounds nuts.
Yeah, it was one of the most unique ones that I saw this year.
That's awesome. Did
what else
did The Lighthouse come out 2019? It came out 2019.
Yeah.
So that doesn't count.
I thought it would. I would. Was it 2019? Might have even been 2018. I feel like.
That movie was really good though. My when I think about 2020, there's a few that come to mind. The Invisible Man was pretty damn good. Another one that comes to mind, Extraction. Extraction was pretty fucking good. That was one of the most fun action movies.
I got one.
Ooh, go for it.
Palm Springs.
Palm Springs was great. You're right.
That movie was probably the best. Like overall, absolutely, like the best.
That's interesting. I'm not gonna count Hamilton because that was really good, but I'm not gonna count that as a movie. Just because like I just don't want to count it as that. Because that technically came out like a while ago. Oh, was Knives Out 2020 or was that 2019?
I believe it was.
Knives Out is definitely.
No, it was 2019. I'm positive.
Okay, well, Knives Out was really fucking good. That's definitely up there if it was for 2020.
That was nice.
Oh, The Devil All the Time. Devil All the Time.
Of course.
That one's up there. I would put, if I was doing like a top 10, the second Borat movie would be up there. If I was doing a top 10. It wouldn't be... And the last thing I'll say... Oh, Mank. Mank would be up there. And I think... And I would put Malcolm and Marie and Barb and Star up there as well. Oh, no, Barb and Star was 2021. You're right. You're right. Malcolm and Marie, too. Yeah. Never mind. Never mind. I'm getting into 2021 stuff now. So, yeah. Mank I would do if that was 2020. But yeah, and then like I said, I think this year was crazy for shows though. I mean, we had The Boys season 2, we had Queen's Gambit, we had there's another one I'm forgetting. Altered Carbon season 2. There's a lot of crazy shit coming out that
Tiger King.
shows. I didn't even watch it, but yeah, Tiger King.
It was wild. It's insane.
But yeah, crazy shit. Anyways, I just was curious about that. That was because yeah. So okay, sweet. We got fun movies. I'm so excited to get in this first one. So let's just
do it to it.
Let's just fucking do it. We got Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat.
Is that from the game?
Yeah, that's the theme song. They played
I
at the.
remember that part.
They played in the
remember
credits.
that part at the end. I don't
They played
remember
in
them
the credits.
screaming Mortal Kombat though.
That's in the game. They didn't do it in the movie, sadly. They did it in the original movie. They did it in the original. You bet your ass they did. No, but so yeah, Mortal Kombat 2021. There's actually a few different iterations of Mortal Kombat in movies. Obviously, the main famous one is the one. Oh, I should have gotten the year up. When did the original Mortal Kombat come out?
1980.
1995. So
What?
1995 Mortal Kombat. And there's been other iterations since then that had nothing to do with that series as well. But none of them like were really like big. Like this is the first like big like thing since the first two, which is Mortal Kombat 1995 and Annihilation. And Annihilation was hot dog trash. Anyhow,
Hot dog trash.
it was really bad. And you can see the trailer right now, like it's crazy fighting, crazy stuff going on. And now I'm gonna show the poster because I don't want us to get in trouble. Anyway, so but you can see really cool fighting in the trailer. It's Mortal Kombat. I guess a good way for me to summarize this movie, because I don't want to give away too much, because the trailer purposely didn't give away a lot. It's a similar story to what you know. The realm of Earth, the fighters of Earth are being called to get ready for the tournament of Mortal Kombat. Basically, there are a bunch of different realms. There's Earth Realm, the
What's
it called? Other Outworld.
Other something.
Outworld.
Yeah.
Outworld Realm. And then there's a bunch of other ones that I can't remember off the top of my head. But there's a lot of different realms. And all of the realms come together for this one tournament, and they offer their best fighters, and they fight to the death most of the time. And whichever realm wins kind of gets...
If you win 10 in a row against another realm,
yes,
then you can take control of that realm.
Yeah.
So in this movie,
Outworlds is the one
won 9 in a row against Earth Realm, and the tournament happens every generation. So now this is the last generation that it's up to.
So it's up to Earth Realm, which is Sonya Reed, Jax, Kano, Liu Kang, Kowloon, and a new character who is not in the games at all.
Cole Young.
Cole
the main
Young.
Guy.
Yes. He is the first, this is the first iteration of Cole Young ever. And obviously Raiden or Raiden. It gets pronounced both ways. And they have to face off against Outworld. And who's the main guy of Outworld? I always forget his name. There's so many names, so forgive me. His name is Shane Sun. who is played by Chin Han in this movie. And yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that for the summary. Because I just want to get into it. Because the trailer doesn't give away a whole lot other than there's fighting scorpions in the movie, Sub-Zeros in the movie, and that's about it. So this movie, it's about, I think, what we both expected. Maybe not exact. I think we talked about, like, this is probably how it was gonna go.
Yeah.
Very interesting. It is not, the story-wise, it did not go the direction where I thought it was gonna go, and I'm a little disappointed by that, being a fan of the games and a fan of the original movie. It's not a good movie, but it's a fun movie, and it has, like, good parts to it. I gotta tell you, the original movie did some things better than this movie did, and we'll get to those as we talk about this movie. But my main disappointment with this movie, I hate to start it off on a bad note, but I have to say it. This movie, backstory-wise, I think does a terrible job connecting you to these characters. Specifically, because if you don't play the games, you have no idea who these fucking characters are. And they don't give a shit if you don't know who the characters are. They don't give any backstory on Jax. They don't give any backstory on Sonya. They barely give backstory on Sonya. The only backstory they give you is the new guy, Cole, and Scorpion, and Sub-Zero, and barely Sub-Zero, actually, and, Kano. That's it. Everyone else gets thrown to the side. Like, it's...
Well, that's the thing, man, is,
so if you don't play the games...
many characters. There's just so many characters, and they had no idea how to introduce them all.
Yeah, and if you don't play the games, you have no idea who they are. And that's why I'm so interested in talking to you with this movie, because, like, I know you don't really play the games a whole lot. So, like, I'm just so interested on what your perspective is on some of the things in this movie, because I'm sure it might have been kind of disorienting when there's just fucking random-ass characters that you don't even know, and it's just like, they have no effort in showing who they are.
It was more, as far as the characters are concerned, it was more like, is that person? Like, what's the deal with, like, is this, am I remembering this? Like, for example, Kung Lao looked like Ryu, and isn't that Street Fighter?
Yeah.
Like, what's the difference between those guys? Like, they look...
Well, Kung Lao has the hat. Ryu doesn't have the hat.
Oh, no, then I'm thinking of...
You're thinking of Liu Kang.
Yeah, Liu Kang.
Liu Kang has the fire fists. Ryu does have fire fists too, but
he does the Hadouken.
Yeah,
but they look at they're like, he dresses like Ryu in this movie.
They did Liu Kang a disservice in this movie. He's one of the... I'm really bummed of how they did his character in this movie.
It seems to me they probably did a lot of people disservices with
they
these
did.
But
there's only a couple characters that got to shine for sure.
Yeah. So let's see. There's a thing I want to say at the end of this, but continuing with the character stuff. It's interesting to me that Cole was not in the game, because one, that's dumb.
Yep.
That he's the guy that we follow the whole time. He's our introduction into this world. But also, I was kind of wondering what his deal was, because his what do they call their powers? What's the term?
That's something I don't even remember from the games, and they talked about it in this movie, and I was like, what the fuck? I wasn't even aware.
His mystic ability, his
everyone,
shine,
all
whatever.
All the fighters have a mystic ability.
Is what it's like a.
He has this like shield that retains energy
that covers his torso.
Yeah, and his arms, and weird. He can make these like knives come out.
Yeah. And they're like I don't know what you call it, but Nightwing uses them.
Yeah. They don't explain it very well at all. They don't explain a lot in this movie.
But they don't explain anything really. Anyway, and then, I mean,
it's a bummer.
Kano, like this. Like I just didn't get that.
Kano was the only one who was done any
Well, here's the
service
thing. Well,
backstory wise.
they put everything on Kano,
Yeah.
and luckily that Josh Lawson who played him
The best actor in the movie.
did it well. He was the only one that was
He
able
was the
to
only
act,
one who
though,
was.
Joe. He
You're
was the
right.
only one that got a chance to.
You're
So,
right. You're right.
But they put everything on him, and luckily he
did
did
kill
it.
it.
He, he handled that weight pretty well.
Yeah.
It's a character type that is, I get tired of seeing, but especially for as much as they went to him in this movie, I think he did it. I think he did it very well.
I agree.
The
Knowing
one laser eye, I know that's from the game, but like one laser eye.
Well,
I don't like that. That kind of stinks.
It was really cool to see.
But
this is the one thing this is the thing. This movie, I'm not. And these aren't my words. I actually saw this. Someone else said this after I watched the movie. I was reading some stuff on it, and I saw someone else say this, and I thought it was a perfect way to say it. This movie is all about like give and take. Like this movie has some really great stuff, but it also has some really not great stuff, and it's just like it's not balanced in the great and not great. I think it definitely has probably more not great, but it has some really great stuff, and I do want to talk about those as well. Just so I'm not just shitting on some of the stuff I didn't like in the movie the whole time. So I do want to say, while we're on the topic of Kano, I loved that Kano was in the original as well, but he's obviously a big character in the games. I thought they did his character in this movie amazingly. Not only was the actor incredible, but seeing his backstory and seeing his origin of how he gets the eye and I mean, I guess, yeah. I'm not even going to say what happens, but, like, they allude, something happens, and they allude to, like, what happens to why he has the robo-eye. It's really cool, and he's in this movie a lot more than he is in the original, and I like how much screen time they gave him, and he knocked it out of the park, and he literally carried the fucking movie. He really did. Like, most of the movie he carried because they just gave so many generic character, like, they just gave so much generic shit to the other characters that Kano was the only one with anything substantial.
Yeah, it was rough because
I thought Jax was. I do want to say Jax. They didn't give a lot of backstory with, but I liked Jax a lot. Like I thought the character who played Jax was real, or the actor who played Jax was great for that role. Like I really liked Jax. I also want to say they didn't give a lot to Sonya, even less so than Jax. But the actor who played Sonya, I also thought was really good. I just don't think they gave her a lot. And I think that's not on the actress. I think that's on
No, of course not.
The script. I think that's a lot of this movie.
Oh, it's basically all of it. And that's a tough thing with Sonya in particular because they make her into just an exposition robot.
Yeah, that's a bummer.
It sucks.
Yeah.
It really sucks.
Because her fighting scenes are amazing.
They've got so many characters to get through and so much to explain for whatever reason that it's impossible. It's impossible to do.
I gotta tell you, when this movie opened, I was like, this is like an amazing start. Like the first 11 minutes of this movie,
dude.
The first 11 minutes of this movie are I hate to say it, it's the best part of the movie, and that's a bummer, because that means you're getting through the best part of the movie, like, early on. There is something that comes close to it at the end, but this scene in the beginning is the best it gets. It is pretty fucking awesome. It's really incredible. It's so cool to see the backstory, because that's the most famous lore in the whole game is Scorpion and Sub-Zero. So when you see the origin of it, like live action and well done, is incredible. And also, the actor who plays Scorpion, perfect casting. That whole first 11 minutes did so much just for his character. Spoiler alert, Scorpion really isn't in the movie that much. Bummer. The trailer definitely made it out like he was going to be in the movie more. Yeah. He's not in the movie that much, but those first 11 minutes of just what you get with Scorpion, he barely has any lines, but what they give him acting-wise and visually and story-wise, he has more growth and development than half the characters in this movie, and he's barely in the movie. He has hardly any lines in the movie.
Yeah, but they do. But again, he's the one character that they take the time with. Like he gets, like you kept saying, he gets a full 11 minutes. Yeah. Everybody else gets like 15 seconds. Yeah. Basically.
But he did so good. Oh, that scene! I will rewatch that scene multiple times. Like, it's that good. It's so fucking well done. And like I said, it's like emotionally it actually hits you too. Like, they did it so well. If they did that for the whole, if they did like a similar thing like that for the whole movie, it would have been a whole different movie. It would have been crazy. But anyways,
it's a tough thing to do.
Yeah.
Again, coming from the perspective of someone not familiar with the games, I really had no idea what was going on this whole movie. I was like, I just don't know what's happening. Let me tell you what I did think was cool is when people would get, like, during the fights, stabbed and, like, really messed up.
Oh, yeah.
They would keep going. Yep. They got back up. And I liked that because it felt a little like the games to me. Like, you know, you get... And also, it was just so different from most of the time you see movies, and if something happens where somebody gets, you know, stabbed in the gut, they're just like, oh, and then they keel over. But now it's like, not only does he get stabbed multiple times and then kind of like, oh, but he keeps fighting. I was like, okay, that's pretty cool, and that, you know, feels more like gameplay. So that was a good call.
So what this movie did right is the fighting. They did the fighting really well, and they did the fighting right because it is very similar to the games. And also, this movie isn't PG-13. The original Mortal Kombat in 1995 is PG-13. And what I want to say, because I said this earlier, this movie definitely focused more on the fighting than the lore, while the original movie focused more on the lore than the fighting. And I think one of the reasons why the original movie didn't focus as much on... Like, the original movie had fighting, but it just, like... There was a lot less fighting in the original. And the reason why, I think, is because of technical reasons, but... Like, it's a bummer when I say I think the original movie handles the lore better than this movie. It's kind of a bummer. Like I said, I think the only thing lore-wise that this movie does better is the Kano stuff. And the Scorpion stuff. But other than that, it's kind of there's not much here, and it's a bummer. And I was interested to hear what you had to say, because I have the benefit of knowing the background of these characters. And I have the benefit of knowing what the fuck's going on, because I've played the games. But it doesn't surprise me that you don't know what the fuck's going on most of the time, because you didn't play the game, or what you've played of the games, you know, you don't really know the story, so it's like yeah. I'm sure I enjoyed it a little bit more than you did, because you didn't have that kind of, like, connection to certain... Sure. Like, and that's a bummer.
I guess, in a way, that just makes it for the game, the people that play the game more than a general audience.
Yeah, and that's shitty.
Which I think in this case it's shitty because the reason for that is that the movie is poorly done, not because they were trying to stay true to the...
Yeah, it's not like Blade Runner 2049, where they were just trying to stay true to the fan base. It's not like... It's completely different. I see where you're coming from. Yeah, it's...
And I'll tell you what else made me mad. Again, not being familiar with the games. Raiden, who always seemed like a really cool character to me. He and I never knew this, but he is like the
The Guardian of
the
Earthrealm?
guardian. He's the
Yeah.
master kind of guy. He does nothing in this movie. He
Yep.
doesn't even really train them. He just tells them to
Yep.
go into the fighting pit with the other two guys. Uh,
Well, yeah, the whole thing with him is like in the games and at the tournaments, he usually fights or well, in the games he'll be put in a position where he has to fight, but his whole thing with him and what's the other Raiden and I keep forgetting his name. Shane's son. The thing with Shane's son and Raiden's characters is they're actually supposed to not be involved.
and that makes sense to me. But going into the movie, I wanted to see that.
Yeah.
So again, just as somebody not familiar,
Mm-hmm.
it does make sense to me why Raiden would not do anything, but it was disappointing.
Yeah. I want to also say there's another disappointing aspect of this movie. Technically, I could even call it a spoiler, but I don't care because I think it's unfair that the movie didn't market it how it actually is. There is no tournament in this movie. You do not get to the tournament in this movie. That pissed me off because that is the whole. This is just This is basically a prequel movie. This is like a prequel movie that never happened, and I understand. This is the thing. This is such an annoying thing, and it's so frustrating because I think it actually works for me. Because, like, watching this movie made me want to watch the next movie because I know where the next movie's going, and that's what I want to see, and I want to see it done like this, just better. Like, I think it can be done. That's the issue, is I see the potential that this movie lays out for the next movie, and I understand, like, I think this movie did what it did poorly, but if it had to just get through all of this lore stuff to get to, like, the shit that I actually want to see for the next movie, and it makes the next movie better, I'll fucking watch it. Like, if there's another movie that comes out of this one, which I kind of hope there is, I'm gonna be kind of excited for it because they laid the groundwork. Well, what little groundwork they laid in this movie. So now, at least in the next movie, they can fucking get to the tournament. Because that's what I wanted to see.
That's interesting. A good point. I don't know. I think that
because
we'll see, because it is the game is a franchise that does definitely have a lot of loyal players, followers, but I don't, and so it feels like a risk to make this first movie kind of a prequel, fully assuming that you're going to get a second one.
Yeah, but I think that's what they did. I mean, if you see,
it absolutely is what they did. Hearing you explain it like that, it's like, okay, now it makes a little more sense.
Yeah, like, yeah, it makes.
But is this good enough to get a sequel?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's an interesting question because potentially to be successful in that, you have to appeal to more than just the existing fan base. And I think this movie does not bring anybody in from the outside.
Yeah, and that's shitty. And I do want to say one more thing. You know what's really interesting? The original movie, and I won't spoil much of the original movie because we'll probably watch it in the future. The original movie, you start off with, so obviously there's no Cole. It's Liu Kang kind of is Cole in the original movie. Like, Liu Kang is like an Americanized like version of Liu Kang. But he's way more charismatic and actual has character. That's the thing. At least the characters in the old movies had character and they like were fun to like watch. Anyways, so the point I'm trying to make is the original movie starts off with Johnny Cage, Sonya, Jax, and Liu Kang, And Sonya and Jax are after Kano, and Kano already has the eye. So, and then they go to the tournament from there. So, what I think is super interesting is that this movie, like, you can kind of see where you can kind of see the setup for this movie, what the groundwork it's laying, and I can already see like the next movie I can already tell like might be almost a retreading of the first movie, but like modernized, like just from what they're laying out. Does that make sense? Like,
of course.
And I don't think it makes this movie better. I don't think that makes this movie good, but I think, like, as a fan and as someone who does want to see that movie exists, I don't know. 'Cause we haven't talked about the good stuff, and I haven't talked about the good stuff enough, I will say. The fighting in this movie is really fucking well done. It is really fucking well done. It is so entertaining, and there's a lot of it. I do want to say that. I was worried that there wasn't going to be enough of it. No, there's a lot of fighting. Are the fightings is every fight as meaningful as the other fight? No. There are definitely better fights than others in this movie. But there is a lot of fighting, and it is entertaining as hell to watch. So that definitely helps the slog of dialogue that you get in this movie. I also gotta say, the fatalities in this movie are really cool to fucking see. I don't know if you caught, I don't know if you, I mean, they kind of made it painfully obvious, like, which ones were fatalities, because they literally said fatality at the end of them, which pissed me off, but whatever.
But again, that was something we talked about might happen when this movie eventually came out.
Yeah. I will say, Scorpion saying "get over here" in this movie didn't bother me. When it happened, it was completely fine. The trailer just made it seem like out of place. In this movie, it completely worked.
Because it was, it was just out of context. But in context, I'm glad that it worked.
Oh yeah, it definitely worked, I think. But the fatality stuff for me did not work. Like, I love the fatality. Like, dude, and this was in the trailer, so this doesn't spoil anything. When we see, like, Jax, how he loses his arms, because that's another thing. In the original movie, he just has robot arms, so like, you don't get to see, like, I liked that, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, this movie is almost a prequel to the original movie. And I have a feeling that the next movie is basically just going to be the original movie, but, like, modernized. And that's my theory. Because it explains so much from the original. But anyway, you can see how Jax loses his arms, and that shit is fucking awesome. That was so sick. It was just awesome. That whole fight scene with him and Sub-Zero. Well, it wasn't even a fight scene. Sub-Zero just fucking whoops his ass. But it was awesome. Sub-Zero was amazing in this movie. The effects were so fucking great with him.
You know what I loved was right at the beginning when he first shows up, how it shows when he makes the ice, his hand is like bleeding. I was like, that is really cool. That's a great little bit to add in there.
Yeah.
Because it's the same thing as, like, in the first X-Men movie when Rogue says to Wolverine, like, does it hurt when I come out? That's my great Rogue impression. He's like, every time. I'm a torture hero.
Oh, I love Wolverine. God, made me want to watch Logan. Those movies are great. Anyhow, yeah, so, like, the Sub-Zero fights are so good. Like, every Sub-Zero fight is great. Is really good. The fight between Sub-Zero and Scorpion is great. It is, it's really good. It's really well done. Yeah, it's almost as good as the first fight that they have, but I'd say it's just a little under that one. Yeah, there's one, what's the only other, but at the same time, there are some fights that underwhelmed me. I think the fight with Melina was pretty underwhelming. Melina's the girl with the mouth. She's a great character in the games. I won't say in the movie because you don't know anything about her in the movie. I think she's an awesome character in the game, and she has a really cool backstory. And sadly, no one knows who doesn't play the games, and that's not that's unfair. That has nothing to do with that's because the movie sucks. That's not because the audience should know. But yeah, I think they did her kind of a disservice. Her fight was pretty lackluster. I think she kind of just gets one shot at a point, by I don't know. I guess I'm spoiling it at this point, but it's I don't know. It does. You're watching the movie for the fights. You're not watching the movie for the fucking the twists and the turns. There are no twists and turns. You're watching the fights.
True. That's very true.
Oh, the Goro fight was cool. I liked the Goro fight, the forearm guy. That was a cool fight. When Jax had his arms finally, that fight with the dude, with the guy with the hammer, awesome. That was a great. So there are some really cool fights. What was your reaction? Okay, this is my favorite fatality that they showed in the entire movie. What was your reaction to Kowlun's hat spinning on the ground and he saw-bladed the person?
Yeah, that was pretty cool. I had a feeling something like that was going to go down.
My favorite fatality that they did in the entire movie. That's one of the most brutal fatalities in the game. So the fact that they did it in the movie was really fucking awesome. I loved it. That was so sick. Yeah, that was really cool. The fatalities they had were pretty sick, but that was the best one for me. That one was sick. I don't know. So yeah, I don't know what else to say. The fights were good. The story just wasn't there. So if you want to watch some good fight scenes, if you're a Mortal Kombat fan, this movie I can't not recommend this movie. You're gonna like this movie if you're a Mortal Kombat fan. Or you're not gonna like it, but you're gonna want to watch it still. You're gonna want to watch the fights, even if you didn't like. That's the thing, is it's made for Mortal Kombat fans, but it's shitty because it wasn't marketed. It shouldn't. This is a movie that shouldn't be this should open the door to
right.
But it doesn't.
Yeah, it doesn't do that. And that's what I want to say in closing here, is that this conversation has only made me realize how much I am missing in this movie, not being a fan of the games.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to go off, but
no, that's not. That's not what I'm trying to say. But yeah, this how. Okay, now I don't know what I was saying before, but just that this movie is just so much for the people who already have hours of backstory from playing the games.
Yeah.
And definitely hearing you. So with the backstory that you have given me, it would have raised up my score a little bit were I to know that before, 100%. But without that, are you ready to rate it? Because I guess that's perfectly in the rating. Yeah. So as a non-Mortal Kombat fan, I have to give this movie I will give it 5 juice boxes out of 10.
Damn. Yeah.
Unless I've somehow become a really big Mortal Kombat fan, I'm not going to watch this movie ever again. What little I know of the game that I did see in the movie was very cool. But the script is awful.
Yeah.
And the way that the Jesus,
they did the characters
all the characters, it was just bad news.
Yep.
So
yeah. The only saving grace is the fighting. But if it's not enjoyable to if it's not enjoyable enough for you to watch the fighting, then. And also, if you go into this movie, don't go into this movie expecting the tournament, because that's what I did. I literally in my notes have we're halfway through the movie and we're not even at the tournament yet. And then I realized when there was only a half an hour left in the movie that, oh, we're not gonna have a tournament. That kind of fucking sucks. That's the thing. It's shitty to say this, but if the next movie, if they get another movie, and I hope they do, because I think it's gonna be, I think it has the potential to be way fucking better, and I think it will be good. But I think it would be cool to see the tournament. I really think it'd be so cool to see the tournament in this like style. It'd be so fucking sick. But obviously my rating is gonna be higher, not crazy higher, because this movie is not very great. This might even be too high. As a fan, I gotta give it a 6.5. I could give it a 6, but I'm giving it the 6.5 because I really, it's like, it doesn't forgive the movie, but the fights were just, like, for me, just the fights were really satisfying to watch. There was a couple that weren't satisfying to watch, but, like, I would rewatch fights in this movie. I wouldn't rewatch the movie, but I would rewatch fights of the movie. And it's cool to see the characters, like, in this context. It's cool. I do like the setup. I like this. I really liked what they set up at the end. I really fucking liked where they were going at the end, because it kind of it sucks, because, like, part of my enjoyment of this movie is the fact of what it sets up. And yeah, that I completely understand why you gave this movie a 5.
Yeah, and I
gotta give it a 6.5 though. 6.5. Yeah.
You know, seeing this movie, I don't think that I don't think it's enough to get a sequel, to get the wheels spinning on this.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, yeah, we'll see. I could see it going either way. I could see it not getting a sequel. I could also see it getting a sequel. So we'll see.
Yeah.
I hope I hope it does, because I would love to see a sequel. It's so weird to want a sequel from, like, a movie that isn't that good. Isn't that weird? Like, I've never been in this situation.
I really, that's interesting. But I understand it completely, because it makes a lot of sense, I think, because it's a franchise that you're a fan of.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, you want to hold on to hope that there will be a movie that does the characters and the material justice.
Yeah, and the effects and the shit was really good. But I agree, this movie would not be as high scored for me if I didn't know what was going on with these characters. Like, so yeah, I completely understand. It's a shame. It really is a shame. And yeah, one last thing I will say, Shane's son, I do not like who they cast as Shane's son. Shane's son in the original movies, was one of the best parts of, the original movies. The actor, I'm so sorry I'm blanking on him, but he, the actor for the original Mortal Kombat, Hiroyuki Tagawa. If you saw, like, him, you would recognize him. He's a great actor, and he killed it as Shane's son. And
yeah, this is the bad guy, right?
Yeah.
Very lackluster in this movie.
Oh, it's so sad. He just did not fill his shoes at all. He just tried, like, so hard to, I don't know. It didn't feel right. I didn't like his character in this movie, sadly.
Me neither.
I don't think the actor did it. Like, that is one instance where I think the actor just also
I kind of got that impression as well.
Yeah. Like, and that's a bummer, because he looks like the character, but it doesn't matter. I did not feel his presence. I did not. And, he's supposed to...
Your soul was not shaken?
He just wasn't a force to be reckoned with in this movie. And in the other movies, as cheesy as they are, Shane's son, man, he's the baddest of the bad. He can fuck shit up in those movies. And in this movie, yeah, you see him do some stuff, but it's like, I don't fucking care about you. Like, I don't know. I didn't like him. Same with Raiden. I think Raiden did a little better, but, I don't know. Raiden was kind of underwhelming as well, like you were saying. And I also think that maybe that was partly because of the actor. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see what's going on. But anyway, if you watch any of this movie, watch the first 11 minutes.
Yeah, for sure.
Actually, you don't even need the HBO. You know, here's a hack for all of you right now. We'll get sued by HBO for saying this. You don't even need an HBO subscription to watch the first 11 minutes of this movie. You can go on YouTube, and they posted the first 11 minutes of the movie on YouTube. So literally, just watch it on YouTube. Just watch the first 11 minutes of the movie on YouTube. And if you like that scene enough that you want to watch the rest of it, just know it's not going to be as good as it. But
right.
But there is fun action here. And I think, Andrew, you would agree that there is fun action in the movie. Is it worth going through the whole movie? That's to be decided. But there is fun action in the movie, and there's some really cool visual stuff. So, yeah. Anyhow. And Kano fucking just killed it. Like, that actor did such a good job. I really liked Kano in this movie.
And I can't say enough that they really just, they put the whole thing on him.
Yeah. I'm glad he at least like was good though. Like they perfectly casted him. It was really cool to see Kano on screen like that. I gotta say, it's really fucking cool. It was like it was a one-on-one comparison. It was fucking crazy. His lines were so good. Anyway, okay, that's enough about me gushing about the good stuff in this movie. Let's move on to a movie that I'm surprised we've never done. You know, when I was going back on this movie, I was it made me think of like a Movie Milk like sketch. I feel like this is a movie that they would review on Movie Milk, you know.
Well, they do all the best,
yeah,
latest features on Movie Milk.
I was thinking about that sketch the other day too, and I was thinking of the line that you said, oh, this guy's so funny. He ain't ever gonna die. Or something like, yeah.
He's gonna live forever.
I was like, and then, I don't know how we kept it together, that sketch. Like, I remember, like, thinking back on it, like we just had so many takes, because it was hard not to break during that one. That's a fun one. But anyway, splash! Totally make face with the mermaid.
Make face?
Or whatever you said.
I don't think we said that, but that is better than whatever we said. That's perfect.
You said, you said something about kissing a mermaid. Going down on it? No, you didn't say going down on a mermaid. You did not say that. You said, making fish love. That's what, I think you said, making fish love or something. Oh, God. Anyway. I feel like there could be a similar segment with this next movie we're doing. Which is, what is this next movie, Andrew?
The Goonies. An all-time classic. So The Goonies is a quintessential coming-of-age story. 1985, directed by Richard Donner, produced by Steven Spielberg. It follows a group of kids living up in the boondocks, this kind of poor area, the Goonies, that's going to be torn down. Is it for a mall or is it for condos? I think it's for condos, right?
I cannot. Yeah. Well, I think it was.
Their neighborhood's going to be torn down. It's being
Yeah.
bought up by this guy, and it's going to be
I
torn
think it
down.
was a
So
mall, but maybe it was condos.
they, in an effort to save their home, this group of young kids goes out to find the treasure of famed pirate One-Eyed Willie, rumored to be hidden somewhere nearby. They go on this crazy underground journey, dealing with, real criminals, booby traps, old pirate stuff, and they learn a little something about friendship along the way.
What
But
an adventure!
it's an awesome, awesome movie. Um, it's tough to, you can't really parallel it, I don't think, in a lot of ways, because with it has obviously everything that you would get with a coming of age story, but it not so much any of the drama, I guess, that would come with typically growing up. Like, these kids do learn a lot about themselves on this adventure, but they still maintain that sense of childhood wonder, which is basically what the movie is all about, right?
Yeah.
Believing in this pirate treasure and going out and having the
Yeah.
ability to save it. But there's this is one of those movies from the 80s that has that, even though he didn't direct it, has that
Iconic.
Spielberg feel to it.
Yeah, I do want to say really quick. I think this movie has a similar. I don't know if I'd say problem, but I don't know if problem's the right word, but you'll know what I'm talking about. You know how, like, everyone thinks Nightmare Before Christmas was directed by Tim Burton? I feel this movie has a super similar, like, effect to that.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, everyone thinks, I not everyone, but I think a lot of people, like,
are under that.
When I was younger, I thought, just like how I thought Tim Burton directed
me too.
Nightmare Before Christmas, I thought Spielberg directed this movie when I was younger. And then I, like, obviously now, like, I know, but I also want to say, one of the most iconic and probably best, posters and DVD covers of all time.
Which is, I wish I had his name.
It's on the screen
right
right now, and it's really good.
The guy who does all that poster art. And name any movie that you've liked the poster to.
Really?
And this artist has done it. Yeah,
really?
I wish I could remember his name.
I'll look it up because that's sick. I didn't know that.
He's done every single poster that you like. He's done it. Well,
Goonies.
Especially from that era.
Poster artist.
Like, he did Back to the Future. He did the Muppets.
Drew Struzan?
Yeah, that might be it. I think that's got to be it. Sounds right.
American artist, illustrator, and cover designer. Known for his more than 150 movie posters, which includes The Shawshank Redemption, Blade Runner, Mallrats, Indiana Jones, Back to the Future, and Star Wars. Wow. That's fucking crazy.
Yeah, he's done them all. Hook, which has a great poster.
Oh, I love the Hook poster.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Every single poster that is iconic,
Oh, he's still, like, kicking.
He's done it.
He's 74.
He did the Harry Potter posters, at least the first.
Oh, he still goes to Comic-Cons? Damn, bro.
Yeah,
he was at Comic-Con in 2012. That was a while ago, I guess, but that's still crazy. That's sick. Damn. Oh, man, imagine having a poster signed by this guy. That'd be fucking insane.
Wouldn't that be great?
God,
because there's a story about when they were doing the Muppet movie, they needed a poster, and one of the producers or somebody, whoever it was, said to Jim Henson, like, let's get a sense of what you're looking for. Just write down every poster that you really like. Write your top 10 movie posters. And all of them were by this guy, Drew.
That's pretty funny.
So he was like, "Oh, this is going to be easy. These are all by the same dude."
That's awesome, dude. Yeah. And one more thing I'll say about it: when I say they don't make I say this every time. When they don't make posters how they used to, this is like the kind of.
Imagine what this would look like. Just like all the Goonies faces in a circle, and then One-eyed Willie would be like the one. You know how there's the one that's like
Yeah.
bigger than everybody
Yeah.
else, but kind of like it partially
Yeah,
in
it'd be
shadow in the
faded.
back.
It'd be faded.
Yeah, it'd be faded.
Yeah,
That'd be
yeah.
One-eyed Willie in there.
Oh my god, it would be so
Yeah.
bad. Oh, it's crazy.
You know what? I mean, the posters do look cool, but it's just that they do it for every single one. That's a little like it's just funny.
Yeah, I will say this. I wonder if it would be a similar feeling back in that. Like, I wonder how people felt back then when that was just the norm for all the posters, right? I wonder if like they were getting tired of it, or I'm sure like they probably got like
No,
they
because
took.
they're still very unique. Each one of those
Yeah,
is unique.
true. You're right. True.
Like, just I mean, they all obviously have the same style, but like this poster looks completely different from Star Wars. Looks completely different from Back to the Future.
Indiana Jones too.
Indiana Jones.
He didn't do this one, but I know Lawrence of Arabia is like one of my favorites. I remember when I first saw that poster, because you have that poster. When I first saw that poster, I was like, "Whoa, that looks sick."
Yeah, it's a great poster.
It's a really fucking good poster. Anyway, we can talk about posters all day. Welcome to Film Juice Show. We talk about movie posters. I'm your host, Joe Dorado.
Welcome to Poster Juice.
Poster Juice. It doesn't roll off the no.
Yeah.
So what? Yeah. Posters aside, this is a pretty classic movie, gotta say. It still holds up. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah. It's so excellent to look at. I mean, the sets for this movie are unbelievable.
Oh yeah, who did the? You know what? I can check right now because I have it pulled up. Oh my God, Chris Columbus wrote this movie too. Holy shit. That's great.
Yeah.
That's really good. And like the story was by Steven Spielberg, but Chris Columbus adapted the screenplay. Chris Columbus, like he did a lot of like good stuff, especially back then. You know, he also found America, so that got like the minimal amount of chuckle that it could have.
No, the minimal and appropriate amount of chuckle for that is 0.
Damn. I do want to say, the cast for this movie is also insane. I didn't even realize Josh Brolin was in this movie until I rewatched it. I rewatched it and I saw Josh Brolin. I was like, that's fucking the guy from Deadpool 2 and other things. He's fucking Thanos. He fucking Thanos snapped half the world and he's with the Goonies right now.
Yeah.
That's so funny. I thought that was incredible. And obviously
iconic look in this movie.
He does. Oh my God.
On, like,
yep.
Yeah, whatever you call that thing that stretches.
Yeah. Sean Astin's in this movie too. He's great.
Corey Feldman.
Yeah, Corey Feldman.
The guy who plays Data, who's also short round in Indiana Jones.
Oh, Ki Hui Kwan. I butchered it, but
okay.
I'm sorry. I'm trying.
Well, let me talk about Data for a second, because at the end of this movie, one of my I just have to talk about this right up front. Even though it's like my favorite part. Mm-hmm. So, at the end of the movie, the kids come out of the cave, and all their parents are there, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, so great to see you!" And each kid kind of gets their own moment with their parents. So, they go to Data, and his dad is speaking, I think it's Japanese, to him, and it kind of shows his dad like what he's done to his jacket, and his dad says to Data, he's like, "You are my greatest invention," and it's this beautiful moment.
Yep.
And then it cuts to Chunk, and his mom's got a Domino's pizza, and it's like, "Oh mom, you brought Domino's! Oh my gosh!" Also, we got Sloth. You're gonna stay with me now. Does not ask the parents whatsoever. Now they just have to take care of Sloth. Who knows how much that guy eats? His manners are probably, to no fault of his own, really bad.
I mean, Sloth
What's
is
he
basically
gonna do with Chunks at school all day? I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure they could get him a job doing something though. Construction. He's real strong.
Yeah.
All right. You know what? I guess it'll work out.
It's decided.
Well, yeah, it's decided.
But no, that's really funny. That I never noticed that. Well, I
Yeah.
did. That's a really funny. This, you said it. You said it yourself. This is, I mean, this is a pretty quintessential coming of age story. It reminds me the the two movies that come close to this is coming of age story wise, but they're good for their own reasons. They're very different. But like when I think of coming of age stories, I think of this movie, Sandlot, and I think of there's one more. You know the one with the train tracks?
Yeah, Stand By Me.
Stand By Me. Those are the three like quintessential coming of age stories. Oh, and Holes, but Holes is a little different. Because Holes is a little bit more. That movie came out later, so that's why I wasn't really counting that one.
Holes in the Sandlot got to be pretty close.
I thought Sandlot came out a few years before it, but you're right. Maybe Holes and Sandlot are pretty close. I'll check it right now. But
although I guess Wellwood was Holes. I guess now that I think about it, Holes was probably what 2004.
Yeah, that's the thing. Holes was 2003. Yeah. Sandlot was 1993, so it was a 10-year difference.
Oh, okay.
So anyhow, but you're right. This movie comes from an era of coming-of-age films where, I mean, this is the adventure movie for kids. This is the fucking adventure. This is the Indiana Jones for kids, basically. Like, Steven Spielberg, like, you could tell he had a hand in this because there's so much. I mean, you can just tell, like, adventure-wise, like, the influence from Indiana Jones and, like, that stuff.
Yeah, all the booby traps and things like that.
Yep. Yeah, and rewatching this movie, I do want to say, similar to the other coming-of-age stories that I mentioned, some things I don't think age, the best, but with this movie, I think most of it ages really well. And I think it's just very charming. I think like the dialogue that I like didn't like care for, that I think I like would have liked a lot more when I was a kid, or like when I was watching it like years and years ago. I think like still like, I think it's just different, like it's just a different lens now, So it's just so I don't really want to like fault the movie for it, but like I just think like there's just a few things that like if I had a nitpick, I'd say like that's my nitpick. It's like some things I think just like some dialogue and stuff like I think it is a little silly and didn't age super well. Silly's the wrong word, because this movie is silly. That's the wrong word. I mean, I just mean like I don't know, just didn't land how I remember. But that is very small. That is like very nitpicky. Because I just wanted to have at least one thing to criticize, because I do think it is a small criticism. Whether how big or small it is a small criticism. But other than that, this movie's pretty like flawless. It's pretty crazy.
See, this is something where
like it's shot well, it's edited well.
Exceptionally
the acting is so fucking like the acting is
nails it. It's perfectly cast.
I mean, and like it's interesting watching it now, like the characters I relate to now compared, like I don't think I really liked when I was a kid watching the movie. I feel like I didn't like Josh Brolin's character that much, but watching it now, I loved Josh Brolin's character so much.
There's a little more there than you might realize when you're a child.
Yeah,
with old Josh, with
him making out with the fucking. It's so funny.
But there's a lot of characters in this movie, but each one feels so distinct, and we feel close to each one. We have a very good understanding of each one. What makes that possible, I think, is the way they interact with each other.
Yep, the chemistry.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. Comparing
Sets...
that obviously to the last movie we talked about.
Yeah.
That's not really what you get, because I think maybe with just a movie like Mortal Kombat, for example, you're getting introduced to all these characters they're all kind of getting thrown in. They're also
Mhm.
because they're getting introduced to each other as we're getting introduced to them. But
Mhm.
with the Goonies, they're all already pals. They all already know who they are, so they know how to
Yeah.
interact with each other, and we take their cue with that.
Mhm.
So we get a better sense of who those characters are and feel
I
close to them.
I want to say that the sets in this movie are fucking incredible.
Everything,
Um,
the props. See,
the
this is
props,
this
yeah,
is a movie you think about, and you're like, this is what makes you miss practical effects
yeah, this is definitely one of them.
and
I
practical sets. Really, I think
yeah,
more than anything.
obviously we got to talk about the makeup with fucking ah
Sloth.
Sloth. That makeup's great. It still looks good. Um,
It's a full mechanical apparatus that they put on his head
that's
so that
crazy.
the eye would blink and stuff. It was
That's
very
awesome.
heavy, very hot under there.
Yeah, that's
Wild.
crazy. I mean, oh, that's so crazy. The criminals, like they're just as goofy as you remember. Like they're good. Like it's just like it's hard for me to like add anything to this movie because it's a good fucking movie. It's just
Hmm.
like I don't know. It's
You know, and I think what might add to the struggle a little bit here is that
mm,
this is one of those movies that has a feeling to it that you can't really describe. This movie
yeah,
captures a type of magic.
yeah. It definitely has that like. It's not quite nostalgia, but it's like a similar idea to nostalgia. It's
It's
like
almost
that
like
classic. It's I don't know. It's tough.
yeah.
It's like how Back to the Future feels. Back to the Future, I think, has a very similar
Exactly.
feeling.
And again, executive producer Steven
Yeah.
Spielberg.
So I mean, Steven Spielberg. That's what a lot of people say. He's the master of making like these classics. That's his whole. That's like kind of his brand. Um,
Yeah, just pretty crazy.
Yeah, it is pretty crazy. Which is why I think it's so weird that he's doing West Side Story. Like
Well, he
that's
could do
it's
whatever he
just crazy.
wants now.
No, I know. That's why it's gonna be so interesting to see that movie. I'm very interested to see how that turns out. But yeah. I'm trying to think. One more thing I'll say. When I was rewatching this, I was worried. When I was getting ready to rewatch this, I was worried because I actually rewatched The Sandlot recently, like within the last year. And The Sandlot I liked, but I definitely enjoyed it a lot less than I remembered when I was a kid. Because some of those, just some of the bits in that movie were not like they just were not hitting with me. Like I just wasn't like I don't know. It wasn't like I just wasn't I don't know. It just wasn't hitting with me anymore.
Yeah, I
And
don't know what you're talking about.
I, what?
I don't know what you're talking about. I think they
No, it's
just can't relate. I know, I
no,
hear
and
you.
that's yeah. So but thankfully I was happy when that didn't really happen with this movie. So
Yeah.
I was very pleased that like this movie for me aged better than The Sandlot. I know a lot of people like The Sandlot and I still like it. It definitely like The Sandlot is not like a 10 for me, right? It's not even a 9. That
Mm.
movie's like an
Wow.
8 or an 8.5.
Mm.
But I guess I just ruined our Sandlot review. But
Yeah.
anyway, yeah, is there anything else you want to add that we didn't talk about? I mean, it's just this is like the movie I always saw at Blockbuster Video. I
Right.
would always see this movie at Blockbuster Video, and I'd always see the cover of it, and I'd always like be like, "Ooh, that looks like a cool movie." Because this is before I saw it.
Yeah.
Like,
It's
"Ooh,
never a bad option. It's never a bad option.
I was like, "Ooh, that'd be a cool movie." But I always thought it was like I was kind of scared of scary movies back then. I thought it was a scary movie because of the skull, and I was like, "Ooh, it looks like it's a scary movie." So I didn't watch it for the
Scary.
longest time. And then I watched it like a year or so later, and I was like, it also reminds me of the bit. Since it does remind me of Blockbuster, what comes with it is that John Mulaney bit where he goes, "Hey, yeah, do you have Adam's Family Values?" or whatever he says.
Yeah.
"Hey, lady, I'll tell you when we have Adam's Family Values." And I wasn't offended. as a man. Anyways, I'll just redo the whole bit.
You've heard it. You've all heard it.
You've heard it. I was offended as a... What? I guess I'll rate it first because you rated last one first. Well, are you ready to rate this one? I don't want to...
Oh, yeah, I'm ready to go.
Okay. You know, for everything... This is a random question. Was Hook produced by Steven Spielberg?
It was directed by Steven Spielberg.
It was. Okay. That explains a lot. I think... Oh, man. You know, I think I gotta give this movie I really think I gotta give this movie a 10 out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
I almost gave it a 9.5, but, like... I think it's...
it's difficult to find flaws with.
It really is. I had to fucking pull strings to find anything.
The rewatchability of it is off the charts.
Yeah, it's really good. It is a classic coming-of-age story. One of the best... It's tough to say if this is my favorite coming-of-age story, but it's definitely one of them. Stand By Me is really good. The Outsiders is really good.
But again, all of those have a dramatic depth to them that this movie successfully avoids, still gets the point across.
Yeah, very true. Very true. It's pretty impressive.
Like in Stand By Me and stuff, like and Outsiders, both of those movies get
Oh, The Outsiders gets real... Yeah, they both get dark.
This movie avoids all of that.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess... And if I was to... But if I was to include Holes, Holes would be my number one coming... That movie...
I mean, Stanley Yelnats, give me a break.
It's too good. This is a great movie, but what? Did I ever read the book? No, I didn't, because I didn't have to as a kid. I know a lot of people had to when they were, like, in school.
I never read it either, but there's a sequel to the book that's all about Armpit, the character Armpit. And supposedly it's really good.
Really? That's funny. I would that's interesting. Yeah, Holes is one of those movies. Whenever I think about it, I want to like watch it. I'm like, ooh, I could watch that movie. It's just this good fucking movie.
Great.
Anyhow, yeah. So 10s from us. We've been throwing out these throwback 10s like
we've been picking a lot of good
business.
Throwbacks.
That's true. That's very true. Okay. Well, I think with that, we have come to the end of the show. Great. I don't know what that was, but great.
I like that.
Great fucking show this week. Oh man, I love it. I say that every week, but just impress myself more and more, I guess. No. So, you can follow us on. I had a minor stroke there. You can follow us on socials. We would greatly appreciate it. We are on Instagram at film_juice. If you follow that, you can see the amazing thumbnails in great form on that website and that app right there. If you want a little bit more word action, you can follow us on Twitter,
word action,
where the words are just the same but in the forefront. Not much is different. Follow us on Twitter at FilmJuicePod. And if you are listening to us on Spotify, maybe want some visual action, you can see what Andrew's doing right now, looking off screen. It's pretty entertaining stuff.
I'm sorry, I just got some shocking news.
Oh boy.
From the East.
We're in the East. Oh, the East.
It's so far east, you went all the way around. Directions are meaningless.
Yep. Time is a construct. Directions are meaningless. Words don't exist. Anyhow.
Letters are drawings.
Yeah, very true. Have you ever looked
that
at
blew my mind.
Have you ever looked at a word? Have you ever looked at a word long enough that you it doesn't look like a real word after a while? Has that ever happened to you? Dude, I've had an existential crisis multiple times because I've looked at a word and it doesn't look.
Why are you
like
just
a
staring
real
at
word.
words?
In art class, when I've tried to like do like
Oh, okay, I got you.
like I'll look at the word to like see if it like looks right, and I'll look at it for so long that it just doesn't look like a word anymore, and
Yeah.
it's weird. It's a weird
Wow.
fucking feeling. Anyway, yeah. So words are letters are drawings. But what was I saying? Oh yeah, if you want more visual action, to see Andrew's cool hat and my
Yeah, I just got
glasses.
to say it.
I just got
Did I
these
tell
glasses.
you I'm going to Disney World? Didn't I tell you that?
Yes,
the
you
other day?
did. We had a
Now
whole
everybody
like
knows.
conversation about how I'm gonna sneak in your suitcase.
Did we? No, we did not.
Yeah, we did.
What?
I'm going with you on that trip, man. It's
Well,
happening.
you're more than welcome to. But...
what was I saying? Yeah, that's
Closing out
cool.
the show.
Yeah, we're closing out the show. It's pretty cool, and that'll be a pretty cool trip. Anyway, okay, so just watch this on YouTube, bitch. Like it's
Yeah.
Film Juice. Film
You
Juice
damn
on
honky.
Film. You bozo. Film Juice on YouTube. Just look us up. We're there. You can see me struggle through this outro. And if you're watching this and you want to listen, go on over to Spotify or iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. We're on everything. You can listen to me struggle. And that's all there is to it. Close out the show with that. As always, my name is Joe DeRato. Don't get it twisted.
Sorry. I'm Andrew Canada. I was like, why is he saying his name right now? Because it's the end of the show. And I forgot that that's
you
what
need
we
to
do
get
every
with
episode
it.
to end
You
up
need
the
to
show.
get with it, Mister. I'm looking at my phone. Fucking hang up and hang out. What are you doing? I'm
No, I
gonna
know.
ban phones here on out. No more phones. I'm fucking done with it.
You know what?
I'm calling you out.
Rule.
I'm calling you out.
Let's do it. That's a good
Okay?
rule. It's an important rule.
Okay.
I've got businesses to run, Joe.
This isn't business time. Is after this time.
You're right. You're absolutely right. This is business all on its own.
Exactly.
So I apologize to you, and I apologize to the viewer and the listener for not being fully present. That being said, I'm Andrew Canada. We'll see you next week, movies.
Yes, I.